Good morning. I wanted to touch on today. I don't know how many of those with gastroparesis are on disability. It's not a recognized disability yet. That's part of what HR 2311 is about. I'm on it because the very first thing I developed, and this was back in 2004, was temporal lobe epilepsy. It was ignored for the longest time. Because I was having complex partial seizures, they dismissed them as auras. And then I started having generalized tonic-clonic seizures. When that happened, they finally recognized what I was having before wasn't auras, it was complex partial seizures. That was the start of all my problems, and now that's the main reason why they gave me SSDI disability. Even though to me this gastroparesis is far more disabling than my epilepsy. Although because of epilepsy I'm not able to drive. Anybody who is disabled that has home health, I don't know if they can relate to this or not. I'm just going to touch on it. I've got a home health agency that was supposed to start next week. I didn't hear anything from them all week as far as if they had a person to start or what. So finally, yesterday evening, I had to go ahead and make plans for the week because I didn't have anybody in here to help, or didn't know that anybody would be in here to help me. So I went ahead and made those plans. They called me just right before I made this video and wanted to argue with me a little bit. That they got somebody and that this person was going to start Monday. I told them that I had already gone ahead, since I didn't know, and gotten everything figured out for next week. And they seemed to get a little testy with me and say, well, these people aren't going to stay there if you're not going to give them the hours. Your EDCD waiver says you can give them 30 hours a week. I understand that, but my aides, the one that I'm approved for, they can't take me to doctor's appointments. There's very little that they can do. It's just basically help me up and around the house. I'm not allowed to touch my tube, anything like that. So when they're limited and they can't even take me to appointments, my wife has to go ahead and take off those days anyway and take me to these appointments. My wife or somebody else. And if I'm going to be going for appointments that day, I don't need anybody in here, yet they're giving me a lot of trouble about it. Anybody that has any chronic illness, especially those of us with the gastroparesis, we know how much we got to go to the doctor. Whether it's our regular doctor or GI or the emergency room, we know how much there. And if you can't, and if you're a home health aide and you're listening to this, share it with your agency. We can't help that. It's not that we don't want to give the people the hours. It's just if we don't have any kind of advance notice, then we have to go ahead and make plans that, okay, nobody's going to be here. People already have to take off to fill in those plans. And especially on days that we have to go to the doctor. If you can't take us, why would we need anybody here if we're going to be going all day at the doctor? That's another way those of us with the gastroparesis, especially if we have home health, we need understanding. We're not trying to cut somebody's hours short. It's just, and again, anybody with a chronic illness, if we don't have somebody there, or we don't know somebody's going to be there, we have to make plans to have somebody there. And once they've already made all of their plans to take off and everything, and then you call us, we can't change that. They can't get their hours back or whatever else. And we've already made appointments. We're not going to be here. We're not trying to cause an argument or short people on hours. It's just we've got to do what we've got to do to make sure we have the help we need. And if that help's not told to us, guaranteed us by a certain time, we have to go ahead and make plans. That way we know it's here. Again, I advise everybody again, support HR 2311. And it helps spread this. It helps spread all these videos. Home health, everybody, they need to know what we go through and what we need. And we are our own best advocates. And I'll gladly stand up for anybody. More to come. Thank you.